Okay, we're gonna be doing a Q&A live stream. Let me see. I'm on my computer right now, and I'm trying to find my live stream so I can edit the description. How are you guys doing? Let me introduce myself. My name is Bonnie. I am the admin of Pokemon Graded Cards Only, Buy, Sell, Trade, Appraise, Flex. I'm doing this live stream because we are almost at 10,000 members. We're actually at 9.2, but I rounded up to 10,000. I just want to do this live stream to answer questions that you guys have about the group or about PSA, BGS, CGC, anything graded card related. I figured I want to do this to help get everybody up to speed. I know PSA, Beckett, Cgc, it's a scary process sometimes, especially being away from your cards for 8 months. And it's increasing all the time. The price is increasing. Everything is very chaotic. The mailing system is not good right now. It makes people very nervous. So any questions that you may have, just comment below and I'll answer them. I'll just give people a little bit more time to join. Feel free to introduce yourself as well. How long have you been collecting? Are you collecting graded cards now? Would you like to send in cards in to get graded? What brings you to this group? Like, I would love to hear the feedback that you guys have. I've been collecting since I was a child. I was pretty hardcore. I had the majority of base set, multiple copies of like Hitmonchan, Machamps, Poliwhirl. I never pulled a Charizard. And it was mostly Magnetons. I was collecting until elementary school. Someone on the bus wanted to see my Pokemon cards. I brought them with me all the time. And I started passing around my Pokemon cards. Little by little, people started taking cards away from my deck. When I got my deck back, I only had one card. I told them, you can't steal. It's my cards. You need to give it back. And they said, we didn't take anything. The bus driver told me to get off the bus. And I never saw my cards again. So ever since that day, I vowed to come back to Pokemon stronger than ever and bigger than ever, like no one could imagine. So I've been collecting cards since then. These are some cards from my collection. Just some samples. This is a Q&A, so welcome to the stream. Feel free to ask questions. I don't know if the chat is working. You can comment or say something so I can see. Just a random card. And Magikarps. I collect Gyarados and Magikarps. So right now the turnaround time for these grading companies, PSA and Beckett especially, it's pushing 8 months plus. It's mostly because they are half-staffed and mail is taking longer due to COVID. So keep into consideration the turnaround times. And the turnaround times do not start when the cards reach PSA, Beckett, CGC. Like on their website, it says 85 business days. It's not 85 business days when it arrives. It's 85 business days when they send it to the processing center. So let me repeat that. It's not 85 business days when the cards arrived at these grading companies. It's 85 business days when they send it off to the grading center. So that might add on an extra 2 months until they actually count the turnaround time. A lot of people think, oh, when I send off my cards, it's just going to count right away. And they keep complaining about it taking so long. But these grading companies need to be more clear about when these cards are actually processing. So I would like to tell you guys that. I wish I could see the questions. Are the questions not working? I can't even see my live stream. Okay, I see okay, I see it. The chat is not working, but I can see you guys on my computer. Let me see. Right away. And they keep complaining. Let me mute this. Hi Mitchell. Someone stole cars from Charlie. F in the chat. Grading is not for everyone. It is not about the money, but money is nice. Yes, money should not be first, because the last thing you want is for thousands of dollars to be stuck at PSA, Beckett, CGC, other grading companies. And when the cards come back, you might have a hard time selling them. You gotta list them on eBay, find buyers, go back and forth, negotiate. It's a lot of time. Don't get blinded, right? I tell people, don't get blinded. Don't think, oh, I sent off my cards to get graded, it comes back, I make big money. It's not that simple. What CGC looks like as forecasted on their website, like turnaround time. So if you're talking about the case, this is what the case looks like. CGC, it should be taking 6 months. It's not as long as PSA or Beckett. I think Beckett is the longest. I think Beckett is the worst with how they're handling COVID, because when COVID happened, Beckett didn't send any major updates, but PSA is like, okay, we are working to hire more people, we're working to be more efficient, we're expanding, they're doing all of this, and we can see PSA mentioning it. But Beckett has been quiet, so that them being quiet, I think they delayed that process, and that's what's causing the major backlog that is Beckett, and they increased their price because of it. Thank you, Michael. I'm actually reading the chat on my computer. Do you think they're pumping out sets for money now? Has back-to-back sets flooded the market? I'm answering graded card questions. I don't think they're pumping out sets for money right now. They're just meeting our demands. We as consumers, we want to buy and collect, and we want Pokemon to keep pumping out new sets. So the Pokemon is just responding to us. Hi Steve, tonight I'm going to be teaching you guys about PSA, Beckett, CGC, any other grading companies. I am the admin of this group. I created it around 2 years ago, and I never really put any effort in until recently, and it just blew out of proportion. Like, I'm really grateful. So I want to introduce myself to people and just help you guys out. What's your personal preference? Hey, Alessandro. What's your personal preference, PSA or CGC, and why? I like both. I like CGC for my water types because it's blue. I also like PSA because of the red label. It's just what I grew up with, PSA. But I really like the CGC clarity. Before, I could open these cases with my hands, but since then, they have fixed it. I like Beckett for my Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I don't know if you guys collect Yu-Gi-Oh. Some Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Stephen Lee asked, what do you guys think of MNT slabs? Is there any value to the US market? As I know in Canada they're pretty popular. People would say anything to, I don't know, we complain a lot. People complain a lot. I feel like there's no issues with MNT from what I experienced, but you're just gonna have a lot of people messing with the company. They're gonna try to give you reasons to discount your value, your prices, because it's MNT. I don't think there's anything wrong with that as a company. When grading, what's the most respectful company to send them to, or does that? It depends on your card. If you have cheaper cards, I would send them to either CGC or PSA. CGC is a really good company to send your cards off to, get them back quicker, and you can sell them quicker too. And you save a little bit more money. So this is the best bang for your buck if you want a quick flip. I've been using CGC. My clients have been using CGC, and we've had really good luck with CGC. Their cases are very sturdy. I don't have to worry about them cracking when I ship them out to customers. Whereas with PSA, I've had issues of cases cracking multiple times, even though I double bubble them, and I put them in a bubble mailer or a box. They crack. But CGC, I haven't had an issue yet. But if you want cards for your collection, you can go with PSA. Either or, it's good for your collection, but I personally like PSA. I wait until PSA has a promotional submission, so I pay like under $10 a card just to get these graded. I think that's it for that question. It all depends on you and what kind of cards you have. Also, CGC, people say it's more strict. I wouldn't say it's more strict. I would say they are true to grade, you know. Whereas with PSA, they're more lenient. I've seen PSA 9s with a lot of white spots. I've seen PSA 9s with scratches. Maybe a 10 with white spots and like really bad centering. But CGC is more on point, is more accurate, is more consistent, in my opinion. Oh, now I see the chat. Wow. Now I see the chat on my phone. I'm trying to get to everybody. Oh, there's a lot of new comments. I did PSA Express and still nothing. It's going to be a month. PSA Express is a month now, but keep in mind that turnaround times start when they're in the grading process. So if they're not in the grading process, then you still have to wait. Don't count your turnaround times until then. PSA Express is taking 3 months. Wicken Ching said, hi Wickens. I don't think it's taking 3 months. I'd say 1 month from my last sub. So my last sub was 1 month. BGS is really good with Dragon Ball Z. PSA is good for Pokemon. CGC is good for Pokemon 2. Don't send them out because they are pack fresh. Victor, that's a good point. A lot of times I've had customers, hi Will. Hi Will, hi guys. Welcome to the stream. My name is Bonnie. I am the admin of this group. I want to thank you guys for joining this group and hopefully you guys are finding this very helpful. Don't send them out because they are pack fresh. A lot of customers that send out cards to get graded, they say, oh, this card I pulled from the pack. And I'm like, but the corners cut differently. You know how some corners is like a little bit not rounded? It's like kind of jagged. And I'm like, they cut this card weirdly. You can find it in the older Watsy sets like Team Rocket. It came back a 6. His Dark Machamp came back a 6 and it was pack fresh. And he's complaining to me like, how come PSA grade this 6? I'm like, well, you have 4 print lines and your card is not even rounded at the corner. It looks a little bit off and it's not centered. So all of that brings it to a 6. What you can do is go on PSA's website and study their grading standards. They have their grading standards on the website and you can get like familiar with it. That will help you a lot when hunting down cards. That's what I did when I started 4 years ago. Cgc Being Rude, I've never had experiences with them being rude, but they're not professional on social media from what I've experienced, but that's social media, you know. You can complain and that'll get taken care of. But when I contacted them about my cards at their company, they're fine. Okay, I think I caught up with everyone. So feel free to stick around and ask questions. I'm here to answer them and like approve people who are joining at the same time because I posted this on other places. Would you crack an Cgc 10 for PSA? I would. Let's see what it remind me what it looks like. Sorry. Cgc. I would personally. If you don't mind cracking it, I would. Cgc. I haven't seen one in the longest time. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I would. I'm doing fine. Just been busy. I've been working all day, every day, managing the group and everything. I don't post much. I just lurk. It's been about 5 to 6 weeks for me. Yeah, it's about normal. Any other questions? Those of you guys joining, my name is Bonnie. I created this group, and I am here to answer your questions. I know a lot of people, they ask the same questions underneath discussion. So I would like to help in any way I can. My private messages are closed right now. For any other questions in the future, feel free to post in the group, because my PMs are closed. You got a Charizard 100 Flash Fire in Cgc 9 and want to swap to PSA. Would you crack it or do the crossover thing? Let's see. That's a good question. I've never cracked open a Cgc case. If it's the old label, you can easily crack it with your hands. It's basically risk-free with the old Cgc cases. I don't know about now. It is cheaper to crack it open and send it to PSA because you already have your bulk. So the more cards you send in, the cheaper it would be. So if you send in one card for a crossover, it's going to be expensive. I think it's going to be approximately like $35 total to send one card in. But if you crack it open and you ship it out, it's like $10 for just the grading fee. Another good thing about crossover, Chong, is when you cross over, you have a minimum grade. You send your Cgc 9 to PSA, it's not gonna get an 8. It's gonna stay a 9 or get a higher grade. Okay. I've told customers, don't crack open your cases. Do the crossover if you're very confident that it's gonna be bumped up, right? Like if you want to save money, open it. But if you want a minimum grade of 9, send it. And he didn't listen to me. He didn't listen to me. He cracked it open. He cracked open a 9 and hoped that it got a 10. But he paid for the fee. It came back an 8. I told him multiple times not to do it, and he still sent it out raw. And it came back an 8. So he wasted 2 fees. He wasted all that time only for it to get a lower grade. So I've seen it happen multiple times, but it's up to you. You worry about the bias. They're professional companies. I think we should trust these companies a little bit more if we were to send to them. I've had cards cross over really well, and I also have cards cross over not well. Like my friend sent in PSA card to Cgc and they bumped up his grade 2 times. So that happened to one of my friends. When is the Bonnie grading company starting? I already grade cards. I do card appraisals on the side. So I already have something good going. Yes, it'll be cheaper to crack yourself. Crossover costs extra. Yeah. When you hear about Cgc or BGS being tough, people are really referring to the highest end of their grades being more strict. You're welcome, Chong. Ask me all the questions. Hey, Timothy. Nice to see you again. Like a BGS 10 is more strict than a PSA 10, not tougher, just a higher standards. Yeah, I'd say people take BGS 10s more seriously because PSA 10s are very lenient. Do you think it's ridiculous for PSA to accept submissions on the regular, when they have thousands of cards that are backlogged, shouldn't they finish the submissions already there before taking in more cards? Yes, I totally agree with you, Cody. PSA, from my experience, I don't know how to put this lightly. They are as fishy as a Magikarp. I've seen some fishy stuff, but we keep voting for them. We all vote with our money, and people keep paying PSA, so they get away with a lot of things. There has been times where they, like recently is a good example. You know, the recent turnaround times, they mentioned 45 and they took in all these cards. They waited till a little, like, last minute before bumping it up, but they already took all these cards. Thank you for the thumbs up. Where was I? PSA gave the discount before COVID. They discounted the cards a lot. Like, I think it was $7.50 a card, and you have all these people, including me, sending in thousands and thousands, millions and millions of cards, okay? I knew it was a bad idea, but I still went with it anyway because it's cheap. I can wait. You know, I'm very patient. I can wait. But the catch is, you can get upcharged. You sent in a damaged Gold Star Charizard back then when it was $100. Bad example. Never mind. Just pretend you have a card, okay? This Volcarona. It was $100 before the Logan Paul thing, right? And now it's $1,000. You paid for the proper tier when you submit it. You paid for the cheaper turnaround time because it's bulk. But now your bulk turns into a $1,000 card when it's a PSA 10. And then all of a sudden you get like a $50 upcharge. And it's not the only card that gets upcharged. You get upcharged on 10 of your other cards. And you get like $200, $300. One of my customers got a $500 upcharge for a card that was $5,000. They expect people to be able to pay that. So, yes, I'm dwelling on Cody's concerns and questions because it's very important. That's the catch. All these people, they submitted their cards in the cheaper tier, and 8 months pass, they hold your cards, they wait for the market to go up, and then they upcharge you. What's the point of waiting, you know? Julio says, are you taking any submissions? I am, but it's through Patreon. I do have a Patreon, so it's more private. Right now, I'm very, very, very booked. Extremely booked. I've never seen anything like it. Would you prefer PSA if you don't get a black label for Beckett? Let's see. That's a good question. It doesn't matter really to me. I'm fine with just a card. I'm very grateful to be able to collect Pokemon cards, so it doesn't bother me that much. But it is kind of disappointing to be so close to a black label. I would prefer PSA 10 over a Beckett 9.5. But it depends on the card, really. Some cards I like in Beckett, some cards I like in PSA. Are those diamonds in your hands? Diamonds? I have diamonds. I have diamonds on my hands. Gold label 10 is also very nice. I agree. What if it's a solid 9.5? I would try to cross over to see if I get a PSA 10 because it's a higher number. But I am happy with just a 9.5. I don't believe people should be spending so much money getting these cards like cross-graded or like risking it. I'm more of a guaranteed person. I don't like gambling. That's how I'm able to acquire so many cards because I like to be very, very, very risk-free. And I take my time, try to get the most out of my money. 9.5s usually sell lower than PSA 10s. Yeah, I've noticed that. Is it worth grading newer booster packs like Evolutions, long-term investment? Cody, this is a good question. I tell my clients, think about what you can use with the money. Instead of spending $1,000 on grading your cards, can you invest that $1,000 instead? Like what I did, instead of sending in thousands and thousands of dollars of cards and money to PSA, I purchased evolution cases. I purchased 4 evolution cases at $80 a box, and I knew they were going to go up to $1,000. So you see what I mean? Instead of spending money to get your cards graded, you invest in a product and you make more money in the product. You can always send your cards or packs to get graded. The price of products, sometimes they go up quicker than the price of getting your stuff graded. Do you know what I mean? It's like which one goes up quicker. It depends on you, but I personally would invest my money instead of grading booster packs. Maybe you can wait for a discount if PSA has the discount, or you can stagger it. Instead of putting $1,000 at a time to grade in bulk, you can send it in maybe 10 at a time every month. And when they come back, you can, it's like getting paid every month instead of one lump sum, you know? In my opinion right now, it's just all the time to grade. You're not looking to flip. I think it's a good time to grade, Brian, because the sooner you send them out, the sooner you get them back, the sooner you get paid. So maybe send off a little bit at a time. So once these cards come back, it's not that bad. Oh my god, 30 comments. I'm behind by 30 comments. So if it's 9.5 Beckett, I should get it PSA for a 10. Yeah, I say cross-grade it, but you gotta use your judgment too. See if it's actually like PSA 10. PSA has a grading standard on their website. Match the description to your card, and if it matches, I would send it in. But it's not guaranteed. How bad are prices going to crash once all these hundreds and thousands of slabs get shipped back? At first, I thought it was gonna crash, but looking at how hungry people are for slabs, I don't think it's gonna crash anymore. I changed my mind. There's just too many buyers out there, too many collectors. But you have power as the buyer when that happens, because you can make the sellers compete against each other for your money. 9.5s can be cracked, blah, 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 millions of cards. Plus, there's only so much that PSA can pump out. You know, what Nicholas says, they pump out cards, but there's only so much they can pump out. I think people are buying cards at a lot, like, quicker rate. It's very strong. The buyer's market is very strong, so PSA can't really just pump everything out like that. 5 million backlogs, yeah. I almost had Thomas. I have an almost 10 Beckett, 2 10s and 2 9.5s. I feel like it would. I'd give it a shot. It's not a lot of money to get graded, but check the values of PSA 10 for that card versus Beckett 9.5. Like, is it that much of an increase for you to justify spending that much? I would write all the finances down and go from there. It definitely has a good chance. Blah, blah, blah. Hi, can you tell me about resubmitting a graded card? So resubmitting a graded card, Bart, thank you for asking. It is called a review sub. It's called review sub. They look at your card in the case. If your case is scratched up, I believe they will crack it open to check, and then they re-slab it. But I haven't sent in a cracked case like that. It is I think it's the same price as submitting a raw card, but it's more expensive because of lower quantities. Instead of sending in a whole bunch of cards for like $10, you send one card, it's not going to be $10. But it should be around the same price if you send a lot. It's good to make friends and do group submissions because we all save money. What's your favorite card that I have? You guys want raw cards or let's take a small break. Let me show you a little bit of my collection. I don't really show my collection to people much, but you guys have been such a good audience. Are you guys ready? We're just gonna flex a little bit. This is my shiny binder. Okay. As you can tell, I like my Magikarps. This is my favorite card. And then we're going to go back to questions. Where is it? Did I lose it? Did I lose my favorite card? Oh, there it is. So this is mine's Fan Club Magikarp. It's a very valuable, I think it's a pseudo trophy card. And then we have Gyarados. What about PSA 10 Carp in German though? I can't afford PSA 10s. I like raw cards. I like hunting for them. So, unless it's like raw, mint raw prices, I would take them. Okay. So these are gold stars. Would you ever send those out to get graded? Frank, I will not. I don't care much for graded cards. I know it's ironic. I run a graded Pokemon group, but I keep the majority of my cards raw. I don't care for graded cards, personally. I'm just making this group to help people, okay? I made this group to help people. I personally don't grade my own cards. I actually cracked them open. So there are some PSA 9s in here that I bought just to crack. I know I'm crazy in that way. That binder's a very nice card. Check this out. These are my Plasma Storm Charizards. My favorite. And then some black and white. This is one of my favorite binders that I worked on. What do you think of super expressing a very new card like the Shining? Nicholas, I play the long game. If you have money, I wouldn't even do super express. Just play the long game. You don't want, okay, with my collecting, I don't take large risk. Sending in a card super express, you might risk a 9. Like, why do that? How long did it take to fill that binder? Maybe 2 years. I mean, this is some shadowless Charizards right there. PSA 10 Japanese Gold Star. I don't have a PSA 10 Japanese Gold Star Zard. Is it worth investing in a card measurement tool and make sure centering is... Yeah, I'd say so if you're new. It's just $10. I know it's a lot of money for what it is, a piece of plastic, but it's gonna help you a lot. I personally don't use it. I've been grading for people for 4+ years. I've been teaching people about Pokemon for longer than that, so I'm just good at looking at centering. I measure it with my eyes. So, I don't use it. I recommend for other people to use it. I heard you can submit a card to another grading company and have him regrade it and crack it. Yes, that is called a crossover, Bart. That is called a crossover submission when you submit a graded card to a different company. Thank you, Wiccans, for answering these questions with me. Is it the revolving CD account every month? PSA is raising their prices. Yes, PSA is raising their prices on Monday. That's what I am told. So it was given. CGC was raising their prices, and now like BGS followed. PSA 10 bulk price is cheap for Pokemon. If you have a subscription like me, be patient. Yes, be patient like Ryan. Because from my experience, being patient gives you the most return and the less risk. And it worked out for me. Whereas you can be reckless, crack open cases, and try to be cheap. You might spend twice as much to get a lower grade. Or you pay for Super Express and it comes back an 8. PSA 8, PSA 9. Is the price of the card really worth the price of Express, Super Express? Letters, bar, exactly what I did, except Gabriel bought Dollar General 3 card packs in bulk. Wow, guys, I'm 71 comments behind. Do you think new Shining Fates products will go up? No, I don't think new Shining Fates products will go up anytime soon. There's going to be a new wave in March. Alessio says, hi, one question. Let's say I have 10 identical fresh pack cards. Do I have more chance to receive PSA 10 if I send them separately, or can I send them all together? Send it together. Save money. It doesn't matter. There's always speculation. If you send a whole bunch of pack fresh cards, they're going to give you a 9. I sent 3 pack fresh Charizards. They all got 10s. So, have you ever had a package loss? No. No, I have not. But I got lucky. That's why I'm quitting soon, because I don't want there to be a day where a package gets lost and I get blamed. So it's not worth it for me. I'm going to quit grading for other people. Thank you guys for tuning in. I do have a Patreon. It is patreon.com/BoDangers. If you want more one-on-one help, I offer coaching lessons. I do group chats like this privately. And I've been teaching people on how to collect for a while now. I do have Instagram, is instagram.com/BoDangers. But my DMs are flooded there, so don't mess with me there. Carp is the favorite. At the end of the day, they're graded by normal people, not robots. So would you ever send those out to grade? I will not send out my cards for grading. Everyone's just freaking out. Is it worth? I'm just reading. I'm just skimming through. PSA will upcharge you at times if you undervalue a card. I've noticed cards that are 5,000 plus when graded, when you send in for bulk, I think it's a $500 upcharge. If you send in $1,000, I think it is $50 upcharge. So that's the grading scale I use. I think I'm getting rid of your Crystal Celebi. I bought one on eBay. I think they are support cards. I have a centering tool, but I don't know where I put it. Well, don't you have no choice but to do express for cards that are higher value? I want to subscribe. That's why you use a middleman, Jeffrey, if you can, if you know a middleman, because the middleman value price is pretty good. It's like $14 a card. Yeah, I would find a middleman. There's DFW, but I've heard they're very backlogged. All the middlemans are very backlogged right now. So, if you have the money, go for it. Treat yourself. You deserve a graded card, okay? You deserve good things. Best Patreon ever. Thank you so much. How much did you pay for your collection? A lot. But I'm really good at making money. I work my butt off. I work 3 jobs. And I teach people online. I provide middlemaning services. I do consulting work with Pokemon. So, let me show you guys some more. So, these are some like random cards I have in my drawer. I need to sort them. I'm just trying to find my... You're never forced to do express. Bonnie, just Just trying to tell you, relax. Where do you find your cards? Where do you find sellers? I have people hunting cards for me. I pay them to hunt cards for me. What you can do is, yeah, do that. Pay people to hunt cards for you. If you're looking for a Shadowless Mewtwo and then someone finds you a Shadowless Mewtwo, be fair, treat them well, give them extra money because they deserve it for their time. Value other people's time, treat them with respect, and they're gonna do the same for you. So that's how I grew my collection, because I treat people really well. And I don't react with emotions. I react with logic. Do you buy cards? No, I don't, because I don't like human interaction. I don't like human interaction. I don't like going back and forth with people. So I buy off of eBay because I don't have to talk to anybody. Am I caught up? I think I'm caught up. So yeah, these are some of my cards in my drawer. I do like keeping cards raw. I'm never gonna grade these. I just buy cards and I leave them in a box because that's what I like doing. I know it's a waste, but ooh, look at this. You guys will like these. We have first edition Galora. First edition Dracofio. See the back of these cards? Look at the back. All my cards are bought from eBay. Do you buy cards? I mean, off the people in the group. No. I try not to talk to anybody. Only if people really have like a concern with the group, I will respond. But I don't really answer my DMs. I just skim through it really quick. I'm trying to forward people to my Patreon. It'll help me support. Like, if you sign up for my Patreon, it'll help me support this group. And because I reached a certain goal on Patreon, I did this live stream. So this was sponsored by my Patreons. Sell that Germans are to me. Any more graded card questions? PSA, BGS, CGC. That's the 3 companies I send out to. Again, like my name is Bonnie Dang. I am the admin of this group. I've been collecting for over 20 years. And I've always been a lurker for the most part, but I'm trying to get into YouTube and stuff. You want to see slabs? Okay. So, Gold Star. Espeon. How does upcharges work when you send in for grades? So there's different tiers. People to donate more money? Yes, any donation would help. Because I'm able to take off work more to put my time into growing this group. I want this to be a very educational group with less trolls, like a serious adult collector group. How does upcharges work? Okay, so there's different tiers. There's the value tier, which is up to $199, Blaine. Value tier, $199. Regular tier, $499. Express, $2,499. So if you send in the cards in the correct tier, you're not going to get upcharged. But if you send in a card that will be $1,000, if you get a 10, or if it comes back and it's worth $1,000, you will get upcharged like $20, $50. So that's how upcharges work. Basically, don't be cheap. Read the PSA's terms of service. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Giannis. Do you ship to Greece? I don't ship out of country because it's not worth my headache. Is Cgc worth it? Nicholas says, will it ever be able to compete with PSA or Beckett? So far, Cgc is the best bang for your buck because of the quick turnaround time. If you want to send your cards in for selling purposes, you can do that. it takes around 5 months for your cards to come back compared to 8. Cgc cards, they are catching up to PSA, if not PSA prices right now. And Cgc is very, not strict, very accurate, very, what's that word I use? Consistent. Very consistent. Oh, that's cute. Very consistent. I'd say Cgc will compete with PSA and BGS. In the short amount of time, Cgc has overcome a lot. People are like, PSA had issues. Cgc should have learned from those issues. Well, yeah, but everyone makes mistakes. It depends on how we react to it. PSA has an issue. Sometimes they don't even fix it for a while, but Cgc fixes it right away, like with the cases opening in your hands. They fixed it right away when I complained. But PSA is also good. Let's sum it up like this. Each grading company has its own pros and cons, like in a relationship. Every relationship has its own pros and cons, but it's up to you whether or not you accept those pros or those cons. Cgc is cheap. Maybe you don't like the label. Okay, are you going to accept that? Is that okay? If it's okay, you can grade with Cgc. PSA, inaccurate sometimes with their grading. Are you able to accept that? You know, are you able to accept that they might make mistakes and you have to send in your cards for another month because of that mistake? Guys wants to see some Weedle. Beckett, hard to reach them. You know, you send them an email, they don't respond. Are you able to accept that? So each grading company, I've noticed there are pros and cons, and I accept a lot of them. I try to be as understanding as I can. Cgc label looks so bad though. Not with water types. If you send in your Magikarps, okay? Send in your Magikarps, send in your water type Pokemon, it'll look okay. That's what I'm doing. Weedle gang, that's dope. Funny story behind the Weedle. I thought it was a shiny Pokemon, so I sent it in to get graded. And then my friend said, Bonnie, that's not a shiny Weedle. You just wasted your money. And I'm like, okay. I'll just keep it as a reminder that I can be dumb sometimes. I don't like this time, so it's a reminder. Show the Weedle again. You want to see my Weedle? Mcdonald's Weedle. Cgc label looks bad. Yeah. I like the case though. So that's why I sent in water types. This Geodude. It's amazing. I'll take it off you. I don't like selling because I don't like talking to people. It's nothing personal. It's just me. I just don't message people in my messages unless it's about the group. I'm very strict with what I do. Any more questions about Cgc, BGS, PSA? Thank you, Nicholas. I'm glad I could be of help. Feel free to ask all the questions. I'm here to help. People get upset because they say like I charge for questions. No, I don't charge for questions. But if people really want my time and they really want like one-on-one time, I have a Patreon for that. But with my free time, I try to talk to people in groups. That way we can get more stuff done. I'm all about efficiency. Like this. It got a 9. I tried crossing this Beckett 9 to PSA. It did not get a 9 with PSA. So Beckett 9s, it will probably cross over to PSA 8. Right? So the Beckett lower grades, they're very weak. Any more questions? I see 100 comments. I should probably put these back. So I'm just flexing these. Let's see. any more questions, I'm here. Take advantage of this opportunity. I'm not going to do it often. But as we get closer to 10,000, I want to get to know you guys first before we hit that milestone. Okay, I want to get to know a lot of people in this group, just to make my presence known. You know, I'm watching. My mods are watching, and I make sure they do good work for you guys. A lot of these groups, they're very power hungry, and they let trolls run around. They let trolls control the group. In this group, there's none of that. I'm not having it. I'm a very strict person, and if there's a troll, I talk to them. If they don't listen, then they don't belong in this group. They can find something else. You think, but did you answer the question regarding getting other items graded, like coins jumbo? Coins jumbo, I personally would, but save those over time. It's up to you. Does it make you happy? If it makes you happy, go for it. But I personally, like I said before, I don't like putting a lot of money into these grading companies. Yeah, I answered that question, I guess. I think you asked me about the booster packs. I don't like putting thousands and thousands of dollars. Thanks for joining, Josh. More slabs. I got a couple of Rayquazas. Rayquazas are a good card to grade. It's like Gold Star Rayquaza, but modern. PSA 9 is like 150 right now, and 10 is 400. And you can get these cards back then for like $6 a pop, which is what I did. Yeah, feel free to check out the group and get ideas for your own collection. Let's see. Flex some high-end Yu-Gi-Oh or Digimon. You guys want to see my Yu-Gi-Oh cards? You guys are into Yu-Gi-Oh? I have a lot of PSA cards online. Okay, so Yu-Gi-Oh time. Cgc does not grade Yu-Gi-Oh yet. We have a DDS Blue Eyes, SDK Blue Eyes, first edition SDK Blue Eyes. We have a 2018 and a Steel Blue Eyes card. So this is very heavy. Recap. I don't even know what to say. I think I answered everything. Any more questions? I know the viewer count has dropped. I think everyone is done, right? What's the better buy in your opinion? SDK Blue Eyes, Ed, or Zard? I say Zard. Zard for sure. Yu-Gi-Oh! There's not as many collectors in Yu-Gi-Oh! For graded cards compared to Pokemon. And the rate of Charizard going up in value is a lot quicker than the Blue Eyes White Dragon. So I would go with a Zard. I think all the first edition Charizards are over 4,000 right now. You can't really find one under 4,000 unless it's like super washing machine damaged. But like anything in okay, played, a little bit damaged condition is over 4,000 right now. Some info about PSA raising prices. Oh wait, let me see. Did you get your sealed Blue Eyes or Dark Magician graded? Yes, it is coming back soon. I sent it in Beckett Express. Some info about PSA rating. So Friday is the last day to ship out your package for PSA. They're going to increase their price on Monday, is what they said. That's what I heard. I didn't get an email about it. I think they're sneaking up on people. So I'm just doing it just to be sure. From my history of PSA, they only increase $1 at a time. Sometimes they'll increase like shipping and stuff, but for the most part it's $1. So I'm gonna say we're gonna increase it by $1 a card. Hopefully, oh my god, hopefully they do not increase it by $5 a card. I would not have money for grading. What about Zards in other languages like German? Are you collecting them for your own benefit, or are you collecting them to sell? Because if you're collecting graded Zards in other languages, it might be harder to sell. You might have to like narrow down your potential buyers. German cards. Not a lot of Americans buy German cards. I would rather buy English. But Italian, like if you buy Italian card, you have to join Italian groups because you'll find more buyers there. Hey Jose, I just joined the chat. Quick question, what's the difference between PSA and BGS? Would BGS 9 first edition Shining Tyranitar be a 9 or a 10? Most likely not. BGS is not as consistent or like strict with their grades when it's a 9 or below, from my experience. 9 is like, you're taking a risk there, right? 9.5, it crosses over to a 9 or a 10. I've crossed over Beckett cards before, and 9s, they get 8s. So I have tested it out. Beckett 9s would get 8s. There was a Beckett 9 basic Charizard. I wanted an 8.5 crossed over, and they wouldn't do it. So I wouldn't try crossing over a Beckett 9, but if it's a clean 9, maybe crack it open, right? I would crack it open. Maybe PSA doesn't like Beckett. With everyone raising prices, is PSA still budget friendly with their subscription program? Let's think. I think CGC is giving them a lot of competition right now with price-wise. But I think PSA, you make more money with PSA, but you wait a lot longer. CGC is cheaper and it's quicker, and the value of the cards is a tiny bit lower. So tell yourself, like, is it worth waiting a few more months for a PSA? Is your time, are you okay with waiting, like spending time waiting? So that's a question you have to ask yourself. But I'd say PSA is still budget friendly. Do we know what PSA prices are likely to be? Let's just say $1 a card. Hopefully it's not $3 a card. I'd say $1 a card. I think any more than that, a lot of customers would complain. Is it true that CGC grades more lenient with vintage cards compared to other companies? No, I would not say that. CGC is not more lenient. They are more accurate. More accurate. I have tested out CGC with cards with scratches. CGC gave them 9s. So if a card with a scratch or so, it's a 9. I think that's okay. What do you think about Indonesian Shining Legends Shinings? That's a unique thing. If you want low population, you can grade those with CGC or Beckett. They grade foreign modern cards. You can just be like, hey, I have one of the few in the world, Indonesian Shinings. And if it makes you happy, go for it. But it's really hard to sell cards like that because you don't have a lot of buyers. Jeffrey, no problem. Thank you for asking. I'm glad you find these useful. I've been collecting for so long. I started this group. I maintain this group. And I try to run things well by myself until I got help from my wonderful mods. Wiccan Chings, you want to be my mod? I can make you my mod. But I'm very strict. I thought it would be a higher grade being BGS, but thank you so much for the info. No problem. BGS 9 isn't as strong as people think it is. You gotta look at the card. Buy the card inside the case. You gotta trust yourself more than you trust the grading company. The grading company handles thousands, like millions of cards, right? And you only handle a few cards. So you can trust yourself a lot more. Just study up on grades, look at examples, get familiar, and in the future, you might not even need a grading company, which is why I keep everything raw. Do you think there'll ever be a time Korean cards will be able to get graded? Jeffrey, you can grade Korean cards right now. PSA grades vintage Watsy Korean cards, but they don't grade modern. Cgc grades modern, I believe. I don't know, Beckett grades modern Korean cards. So Korean cards can be graded with Cgc and Beckett. I actually have Korean cards coming in the mail. I sent in Hidden Fates Charizards, Korean. Any tips for people starting their own groups? Don't beg people. Okay, this is another lesson. If you want to create your own group, make sure you have the foundation. Make sure you have reputation. I volunteered for 2 years community service in the Pokemon community. I helped a lot of people answer like their questions, help them with scams, teach them about PayPal. Wiccans, we don't need more mods, but you're welcome aboard. I usually just handle a lot of the work anyway. Mods just manage the group. I take care of like the major things in the group. So yeah, have reputation, build connections for a year or so, and then after that, you can make the group, but I wouldn't advertise it. My group, I did not advertise at all. I built it from the ground up. It spread by word of mouth. It spread organically, and that's how it's so successful. I don't go out of my way telling people, you should join this group. You know, if people ask, I'll link them, but they don't, I don't chase them. Korean sealed products are cheaper. Is there a reason? Less demand. Korean cards are cheaper in quality, at least for modern cards. It's very flimsy and it doesn't feel legit, but it is. So the quality is not good. Let me show you an example. I like Korean CP6. If you want Korean cards, get Korean CP6. Well, it seems like I lost that binder. I think. Well, I don't have samples of Korean cards right now because I don't know where I put that binder. Maybe it's in my drawer. There are faded. Okay, I found a CP6 Korean card. So you see the back? Look how fake it looks. See? This is a Korean back compared to an English back. See the difference in color? It's very faded. It doesn't really have a gloss compared to Pokemon. It's thinner, but the Korean CP6, which is the equivalent of Evolutions, is very high quality. The holo is really nice. Sometimes you get a bleed, so I highly recommend getting Korean cards in this set. I have a couple of Charizards that I sent in. That's a great lesson. Thank you. There's a ton of Pokemon fans. Good luck with your group, Vegan. What is the pink thing behind you? This is a chair. This is a gaming chair. Do you know a corrected value for a PSA 9 corrected chart? I am so out of date. Ever since Logan Paul did the video and all the prices went up, I haven't been studying prices anymore. Due to it not being first edition. With Charizards, you can't go wrong with a higher price. Are you trying to sell it or buy one? We do not have any major group here. I have this shiny Suicune. Hi, Rick. I'm answering questions about graded cards. So not worth getting the Korean Shiny Star V-Box? I would not. What are you gonna do with the bulk cards that you pull? It's really hard to sell those Korean cards. You might as well buy the whole master set from Korea. That's what I did. I purchased the whole master set from Korea. Do you guys want to do a box break? I have boxes too. Yeah, it should be cheap. I purchased the Hidden Face in Korean, maybe $10 a piece. $100 for the Charizard. Celeb Bonnie in the house. Thank you. I'm not a celebrity. Extra for the Japanese version. Yeah, you can do that. I would prefer Japanese over Korean all the way. But if you like collecting languages, you can pick up Korean. Have a good night, vegan. Thank you for joining. Do you ever open the Yu-Gi-Oh cards? No, I have them locked up. I didn't have time to open. I am very short on time. So usually sealed stuff, I lock them away. Maybe I'll trade them away in the future. That's super cheap. Yeah, Korean cards are super cheap. So why buy the box and risk not pulling the cards? Just buy the individual cards. You know, you're going to have a lot of people doing the same thing. They're going to buy the boxes to open, and you can just swoop in and buy the cards off them. I have more PSA cards, but I'm going to put these away first. Yeah, if you guys have any more questions, feel free to ask. I'm here to help for a while. Just fire your questions away. Normally, I don't answer questions. I do have a Patreon if you guys are interested in supporting. It is $1, $5, or $10 a month. I do have like consulting tiers, but that's not for everybody. I post videos on Pokemon every week. Like I write articles. Yeah, I basically do this, but more privately. And maybe I go live once in a while to answer questions. Has grading slowed down yet, or is it really backlogged? It's backlogged and it's getting worse. So it doesn't look like it's getting any better. I think we're pushing 8.5 months, 9 months now. But I think during the summer it's gonna be better. What's your experience? Hi, Ricky. What's your experience in crossover grading if you've done it before? For example, chances of 9.5 crossing over to a PSA 10. I've only gotten successful with it, I think once. A few times, but it's not guaranteed. BGS 9 crossing over. Definitely 9 is lower, PSA wise. But Beckett 9.5, I think. I'd say it's a 40% chance. If I can give you a number, it's a 40% chance. What do you think is the quickest turnaround rate? BGS, PSA, CGC. I think BGS is pushing 9 months. PSA is pushing 8 months. CGC is pushing 6 months. So recommend CGC for the best bang for your buck, the quickest turnaround. You can flip your cards easier with CGC. And people buy CGC cases and send it in for a crossover to whichever grading company they want. Jeffrey says, what's your opinion on opening sealed products that have chase cards in the set? Is it worth the risk? I personally don't like gambling, so I don't open sealed products. I just buy the hit card. Why would I spend $1,000 to try to pull a card that's like $500 when I could just buy the card that's $500 or buy 2 of them? You know, buy 2 of them, buy 3 of them in the future. You sell it, and then you buy the rest. There's a lot of ways to go about it. I don't like gambling. I don't recommend people to do it. Opening packs is an addiction. You know, it's an addiction that people don't realize. They just open packs. They spend more money. They go out, spend the gas to find the cards. I don't do that. because gas money, you know, it all adds up, and you keep trying to pull that card. Maybe you can do it once to treat yourself, right? But don't keep doing it. Maybe with the money you can spend it on the card. That's why I didn't buy like a booster box. Let's see. Because why would I spend money on a booster box to buy like a whole bunch of bulk? Buying a booster box is a whole bunch of bulk, so I'd rather buy the Charizards from that base set box. So I have a lot of base set Charizards, ungraded and graded, instead of a unlimited booster box. Also shadowless because of that. Can I send my cards in at the PSA New Jersey location, or is it only in California? I believe let's see. I believe it's California. Yeah, it's California. You can't send it into the New Jersey location. I think that's office building. But the grading center is in California. Or at least it says so on the address slip when I print it out. Most guaranteed. I mean, keeping sealed products is the most guaranteed way of making profit over time. You can't keep everything sealed. But keeping raw mint cards, like the chase cards, that's also guaranteed of making a profit. So I can grade all those Charizards and sell them for a base set, you know, booster box. Those shadowless Zards are like 4,000 each. And then those base set Zards, if I get them graded 8s, that's like $1,000. And it all adds up. So the same amount of money I could have purchased a 2,000 booster box, I purchased multiple Charizards in mint condition. Either way, it still like converts to each other. Thank you, Ricky. Guess that's the cheapest way. I have 5 shadowless Charizards right now. And 1 first edition Charizard. Instead of buying that shadowless booster box. So I'm going to get a master set. Buying each card and not gamble. Yeah. Pretty much. And then you can haggle, because some people, they have the addiction problem. I know we shouldn't take advantage of them, but they're willing to sell their cards for cheap when they need the money. You can swoop in and buy their collection that way. Is there a better place to sell your bulk cards, or are they all the same? Just find a place that you trust to sell your cards and sell to them. But that's pretty much it. If you want to stretch out your money, sell locally. Sell for cash. Like make little fake make little booster boxes for kids or something. And then you can put your bulk in there. But I would like trading in my bulk for cards. Even though I'm losing more money, I save more time. What grades are your Charizards, the shadowless? They're ungraded. My graded one is at Beckett getting a recase. Because PSA scratched my case when I did a crossover. It didn't get the grade, but let's see. But they scratched my case. Yeah, Beckett's so backlogged. Even recasing a card is taking months. So these are my shadowless. They all have a little bit of whitening. Oh yeah, I have one more at PSA. So I like keeping cards ungraded. Any other questions? Any for sale? I don't sell my cards. Everything that I sell privately. I have someone that sells my cards for me, so I don't have to talk to people. What grades? Pretty clean. Thank you. Is there any cards you recommend people getting right now because they are cheap? Good question. I recommend getting team up cards. They're pretty cool. Also, there's the movie promo Charizard from Japan. It's Mewtwo Strike Back Charizard. It's a unique artwork, unique release. This is stuff I talk about on Patreon. So every week I talk about a card that people should buy to make money. A while ago I was talking about Kanazawa Pikachu's. Michael, your Crobat box is shipped. It's in the US right now. Yeah, I go over which cards to buy. People were buying Kanazawa Pikachu's because I told them to for $30, and now they're $80 cards. So all my Patreons made money. Do you have any Japanese McDonald's cards? No, I don't. Do you recommend a middleman for Facebook transactions on Facebook? Yes, I do. I do recommend a middleman because a lot of these expensive trades could have been, like these scams could have been avoided if people use a middleman. There's tons of good middlemans out there. I middleman. I record everything. Dave Regato middlemans. He's trustworthy. I do have a middlemaning service as well. So bunch of things. Let's see what other cards. That's pretty much it. Eevee Heroes, Japanese Charizards. You can't go wrong with Japanese. These are pretty rare. These are the Munch Scream promos. I highly recommend getting them as well. These are very expensive at like $100 now, but they are still underpriced for what they are. They are literally cheap. What is still considered cheap? For me, $100 for a card is cheap. It's cheap because in today's market, and I've been collecting for so long, I can sell cards and buy something, and it's really easy to like do that. But starting out, it's very expensive. But there's ways to make money and catch up, and I cover that with people. PSA slaps, PSA 10. I think people can pay up to $1,000. That's normal for a PSA 10 of a really good card. Even trophy cards are very expensive. I spent $7,000 on a trophy card last year. Last year. And I thought that was okay. And it's easier for me because I had a whole bunch of cards that I could have sold for that card. What's your strangest item in my collection? Card-wise, I don't really have a strange item in my collection. I do have strange cards. There's Imukini cards. It's pretty strange. When's a good time to sell? Because cards that have value just keeps going up, right? I can cover that in depth. I actually host a class on that, but it depends on the card. I guess to summarize that is a good time to sell is when you don't need to sell. What that means is when you don't need the money, start listing the cards that you want to sell at a higher price. If it sells, great. You make extra money. If it doesn't sell, that's also good. You don't have to sell. You can keep your card. You don't need the money. So either way, it's a win-win in that situation. The worst time to sell is when you need to pay the bills and you offload everything last minute. That's the worst time to sell. Good time to sell is when you don't need to sell. Have you ever sent a card back to get regraded? I have a Shining Legends Secret Rare Mewtwo that's 0.5 away for BGS Black Label. I was wondering if it'd be worth trying again. Tyler, I would not try regrading it with Beckett. It seems like they're very lazy with review subs compared to PSA from my experience. PSA, every sub that I sent in got one card bumped up. But again, I haven't tried that much with Beckett because it's so expensive. I haven't cracked cards to send in to Beckett again. I haven't like sent in a sub myself to get regraded. I'm saving up for it. I'm saving a whole bunch of 0.5s to send it all at the same time. I'll just try it once. But what I've heard, it's just very, like, there's a low chance. But who knows? If you have 10 of those cards and you send it in all at once, maybe one will get a black label. They're like, okay, Tyler's trying really hard. We'll just give him a black label. So that's why I'm collecting cards. I think I'm at 5 right now. The longer you keep, the more money you make. Yes, but there's a time when the card will slow down, right? You have a CP6 Charizard, PSA 10. You buy it for $100 last year, and it goes up, up, up. Logan Paul shoots up. And then this is a good time to sell. But a lot of people get greedy, and they hold it, and it just goes down. And it just maintains that price. So why would you wait for it to like maintain that price for the longest time when you could have gotten rid of it up here? You know, there's going to be a point where the card is not going to increase that much in price. It comes with experience. What's the next card I plan to buy? Is it a bikini card? I haven't seen that one. Nice. That seems very unique. What's your most valuable card in your collection? I have a fan club. Another question. No, this is free. What's your most valuable card in your collection? I have a first edition Charizard PSA 5. That's like 10 grand, I think. And I also have a fan club promo Magikarp. So this Magikarp right here, this is a potential $12,000 card. Potential. You opening packs tonight? If you would like to buy packs, I could open them. I have Shiny Star V. And gotcha. Wasn't sure how much variance you get, but between graders too. BGS to PSA. It's been a poor experience for me. PSA review, great. BGS to PSA, waste of money. Have you ever talked to a grader at PSA or Beckett? This is my Patreon. Have you ever talked? No, I've talked to someone who worked at PSA, but they weren't graders. I don't think they're supposed to say they're graders. Do you have an eBay store? Yes, but there's not a lot of stuff on there. I sell out really quick. That's my Patreon for more one-on-one help. That's when I answer questions in my DMs. I add you to my primary inbox for questions. Everyone else is in my secondary inbox. Can I pin this? Oh, I can. Do you have a good website for pre-ordering Japanese sets? I have Japanese middleman. I have friends in Japan. And I usually order through them for products for my Patreons or my Instagram friends. So I would suggest joining Japanese groups to find a middleman. And then they can help you get products a lot better. So we have black Charizard. wanted to cross this over to a PSA like 10, but I don't think a CGC 9.5 would do that. It's kind of off-centered. I think they were very lenient with this card with centering. Again, thank you for the stream, guys. My name is Bonnie. I am the admin of this group. I'm just here to answer questions that people may have. I hope to bring a lot of people in this group up to speed with grading, because I know it's very scary, like joining this group and not Cgc 9.5 should get a PSA 10. Hopefully, I really want a PSA 10 with this Japanese Charizard. But the centering is just really bad, worse than the ones I've seen at PSA. Cgc, Beckett, or PSA. For me, I like all three. Each grading company, like a relationship, has its own pros and cons. It's up to you whether or not you want to accept it or not. Cgc, maybe I don't like the label. I'm okay with it. Maybe PSA, long turnaround times, meh, I'm okay with it. Beckett, it ghosts me, no updates, meh, I'm okay with it. It depends on what you're okay with. What's the best way to care for booster packs? You're welcome, Tyler. Thank you for joining. Let me see. Funny you say that. Okay, we have some little packs right here. 1 second. I keep everything in like a box. Don't do this at home. So I keep everything in a chest. Oh, wait. Hey, Jose. So this is what I do. I put them in these booster pack protectors. I'm actually designing them right now. So I want it to be thick and like perfect fit. So I've been testing these out. These are samples that I ordered. Thank you. And you're welcome. Just sleeve them up. Use PSA case sleeves. I have them for sale if you're interested. They are $5 a pack plus shipping. It looks like this. It's kind of loose. See, and then, I don't know. You can tape it and make it like fit, but it's for case sleeves. I wouldn't use it for booster packs, but you have no other choice, I would get them. Later. Bonnie and Typhlosions. I don't collect Typhlosions, but I know a lot of people that do. Cards that have high value that comes out. What are some cards that still have high value even though it comes out graded 5 or lower? Other than that, Charizard. There's trophy cards. You know, trophy cards. Maybe gold stars, crystal cards. What booster packs were you opening and how much? Well, I have Shiny Star V. I want to try to follow my own rules of the group, guys. I don't want to break my own rules. So if you guys are interested in a box break, I do have a Whatnot. My Whatnot account is Bo Dangers. If you Google Bo Dangers, you'll see it. Whatnot.com. Let me see if I can find my username. Whatnot. I'm Bo Dangers on Whatnot. And you can follow my Instagram. I do breaks on there. Because I don't want to break my own rules. I'm like approving people to join the group right now. Thoughts on promo cards and their value for years later. Japanese promo cards, I would go, if you want value, go for Japanese promo cards, V-boxes and tins. For me, that's too slow. You know, unless it's a really rare Pokemon and it's really sought after, like the Hidden Fates Premium Collection, Rayquaza. I would not hoard those promo cards. With the Rayquaza, you can only get them in the, I think, $100 box. I got mine for $75. So they were $100. It's very expensive right off the bat. So a lot of parents can't buy them for their children. It's a limited release. So they were out for a short time, only at Walmart and Targets, I believe. Maybe GameStop too. But like smaller stores. Lower quantity of stores. Yeah, there's also the $50 box for Rayquaza. Yes, that's expensive too. And because of that, I hoarded the Rayquaza promos. But with these 10 promos, it's plenty. I would still grade like 5, but I wouldn't go crazy and put all your money into that. What's better is Japanese promos because, like, the Kanazawa Pikachu. There's 2 rules that I teach my Patreon. If you guys want to learn more, I have a Patreon. I base it off of 2 things. Unique artwork and unique release. Kanazawa Pikachu, you're never going to see that artwork again, most likely. And it was given out at 1 location in Japan, Kanazawa. So because of that, it was a good promo to buy and great, and it shot up in price. Like predicted. I got 6 of them. So it went from $30 to $80 real quick. Timothy asks, how much are PSA rates going up? Sorry if it's asked already. No problem. You can ask. I'm okay with repeating. Repeating will draw it into people's head. So far, we don't know the PSA rates going up, but from the past, it's always been $1 for the most part. So like $1, but I think with the surge, expect $2. I'm gonna say $2. $12 seems like an okay stopping point. $13, odd numbers, right? Not good. $15, people grab their pitchforks. $12, you can get by with it. $1, too little. So I'm gonna say $2. How many of the same cards do you usually send? Is it better to send a couple to each company? I send 3 cards. I plan on keeping 1. 1 to sell in the near future, 1 to sell in the far future to make back all our money. So 1 to sell in the near future to make back the most of the money, 1 to sell in the far future to make back all of the money and more, and 1 copy for me. So I send in 3 copies of the cards I want. Is it better to send a couple to each company? You could, but sending in a few cards to different companies, I'm able to do it because I send in hundreds of cards to BGS, CGC, PSA. But if you're sending in a few cards to all these companies, it's going to add up. You're going to pay a lot more in shipping fees. So I say stick with 1 company. But I also recommend if you are sending in a lot of cards to stagger your subs. So your subs will come back at different times and you are kept busy. You can sell your cards when you have free time. And it'll keep you busy, you make money. You're welcome. For Charizard V promo cards, I recommend PSA. Unless it's absolutely centered and everything, CGC, but I go with PSA. It's really hard to find a card, an Elite Trainer box, Champion's Path, promo, Charizard V, in centered condition and no whitening. So getting a black label for that card is hard. Let's see. I'm going to check my Instagram real quick. Dang, I got like 5 messages there. What's the difference between your $50 and $10 Patreon? Patreon, $10, you can read like my articles, my blog posts. I do like live streams sometimes, like group live streams, once a month. But like $50, you can message me every day. And like I respond really quick. We set up a 1-hour call every month. And I go over your submission with you or any other questions that you have. You can have a rapid firing session. This is what some people do. They pay $50 for 1 month and they just book me for 1 hour. And they just ask me question after question about grading and I just answer. There's only 1 slot left. It's been selling out. Basically priority in my DMs. Not even worth risking. If you have the money, go for it. Some people, they like taking the risk. If I had the money, I would try for Black Label, but I don't. So I'm okay with a Beckett 10. I'm really happy with Beckett 10. $1 is for support. $5 is for like basic questions. $10 is more of a group chat thing every month. And everything before that. Would you sell or trade your Watsy packs for 1 Black Label? No, I would not. Black Label Hidden Face Charizard. I'm okay with a 10. I'm grateful for any Hidden Face Charizard. That's why I would not trade. Like, it's just a number to me. If it's a Charizard, I don't care if it's minty or not. Like, it's special to me. I will love it. I have around, I think, over 10 Hidden Face Charizards. I only have a few left ungraded. I sent my best ones to Beckett. Let me pull them out. Yeah, I did pre-orders for Shining Fates for Patreons. I did ETBs for 115 packs for $8. So that was the deal for the Patreons. But I wouldn't recommend signing up just to get like pre-orders because it's not guaranteed. We just got really lucky this time. But mostly people sign up to read the stuff I write and then the monthly group chat. And I've helped people hunt down cards too. So if you have a card that you want me to look out for, I will do it. But it's not guaranteed. Again, it's not guaranteed. It's mostly for information than the services. Oh, hi, Will. You're Will. Oh, you're Will. That Will. Okay. You actually joined my group. I think you answered this before, but if budget wasn't part of the question, I'm going to use the Charizard example. So this live stream was made possible by Patreons. Because of them, I'm able to take more time off of work to do more live streams. If budget wasn't part of the question, I'm just going to use it. If I sent all of them to Beckett and only got 9 to 10, no Black Label, is it worth getting it regraded to PSA for a 10? I would keep your Beckett 10s. Don't spend the money to regrade. Just, okay, with the money that you could be spending regrading, buy more Charizard V cards. Just buy more cards, send them off to PSA, and you save more money. And you make more money. Sell off the Beckett 9s. And the 9.5s. Keep the 10s. The promo cards are really cheap right now, too. Like, $13. I would buy them out. But I have no money. Because I've been investing a lot of any money that I make into card supplies for people. Like, I have semi-rigids. If you guys are interested, I have semi-rigids for $8. I have... Okay, this is going to be a saleswoman. Saleswoman time. I have semi-rigids for $8 a pack of 50. PSA case sleeves for your PSA cases, Beckett case sleeves, sleeves for cards. I also have semi-used top loaders. Also, if you want to support, I have shiny Magikarp stickers that I created. My friend helped me bring them to life. I have the shiny version and like the normal version. That helps support. Yeah, I try to bring card supplies to the community for cheaper. These are business cards. So all my money is going towards that. I don't buy cards anymore. I'm waiting for cards to come back, and I'm selling them to invest in my business. Let's look at Magikarps. We have more Magikarp shiny promos. This is the Battle Festa Gem Mint 10. PSA 9. Shiny Magikarp. Magikarp web artwork. Will you be getting booster pack supplies? This is probably a next year project. Right now I'm designing these Japanese booster box cases. This is for medium size, but you can fit like a smaller one. You just have to shift it up and it'll look fine from the front, but the side is a little bit loose. I also designed Elite Trainer box cases. Let me get one. Okay, so these are cases that I designed. I did the dimensions, the material type, the thickness, everything. They are nice. And it slides. There's room for the booster box, so you don't scrape it, and it just slides open. Right? No magnets. This is my Generations Elite Trainer box. So I've been working on designing this, but it's so expensive. I only can get 100 at a time. I want to bring the community cheaper cases. Instead of $60, it's gonna be $38 for I think one plus shipping. And if you buy a lot, it's $35. But I'm sold out. I don't have any more. Thoughts on buying from eBay and the risk of quality cards. Okay, this is, guys, pay attention. Class, pay attention. This is very useful. When you buy cards, there's going to be a note section, right? Or you can message the seller. You say, hey, I am interested in this card, but I want mint condition. I want near mint condition. I'm not looking for a play card. You message them that. And then you go on to describe what condition that you're looking for. I'm looking for a near mint card, which has minimal scratches, no whitening, no scruffs on the back. You know, you describe what you want. And the seller has to check. If they don't check, and they send you a card that's not as described, you easily win. You save time, you send it back, you win. Because the proof, you already messaged them. You already let them know in advance. So I message every seller that I purchase from. If it's a high-end card, I message them. And I tell them that. If they agree, great. Right? They double check for me. It's like more communication. The more communication, the better. Which upcoming products do you think will be worth? Oh, we're not asking Pokemon graded card questions. We're asking market market questions now. I would go with, personally, I would just stock up on EV boxes, but even then, I feel like Pokemon's gonna saturate the market with Shining Fates. But it doesn't hurt to hold on to ETBs. ETBs won't really go out of style. I wouldn't go into anything for investment. I'd say Hidden Fates though. If you want to buy a box, buy the Hidden Fates ETBs right now. I would prefer Hidden Fates over Shining Fates. Because Hidden Fates has the SV49, Shiny Vault, Charizard, the notorious like black label that sold for 11,000. It has the Evolutions, Mewtwo, Greninja. Greninja is a popular Pokemon in Japan. Greninja is one of their favorites. So that's in that set. It's like everything, like really good cards in that set. Hi Kevin, what do you think of the state and current market is? How did it make you feel? I am really good at canceling out noise when collecting. You don't want to be distracted by, oh, scalpers, and I hate scalpers, everything's overpriced, blah, blah, blah. You don't want to be surrounded by all that. That's just too much noise. So find a way for you to ignore all that, to like just not let it get to you, and focus on your goals. Who cares what the current market is? You adapt. You adapt or you die. You don't actually die, but you die in the collecting world. And that's what I do. I am very focused on my goals with Pokemon, and I don't let the noise bother me. Like the current market, oh, it goes up. I'll adjust. I'll work harder. Yeah, work harder, work smarter. Alex, hello, you're new to the group. Welcome to the group, Alex. My name is Bonnie. I am the admin of this group. This is my first live stream to answer questions, so if you have any questions, ask me. I will do this probably one more time before we hit 10,000, depending on my mood and my work schedule. What do you think about the lightning boxes? Which one are the lightning boxes? Pokemon lightning boxes? Can you be more specific? Thoughts on Shining Fates? You got it. Oh, wow. Those are nice. Keep those premium collection box closed. That's going to be a good box to keep sealed. You made a good choice. It's one of the most, I think it's the most expensive product in that series. Plus, it has the promo cards. Pikachu, the Shining Celebi, and the more expensive one, Shining Lugia. Shining Lugia is a hard card to grade in a 10. Because a lot of those cards, the way it was put in those boxes, when you take them out, you get dings from the corners, whatever this is called, right? The prongs, it dings the card, and that's a really hard card to grade because of it. You might buy four boxes before you find one that's 10 worthy. You want to rip them so bad and grade them. Do not rip the premium collection boxes. I would buy the separate packs. Think about it this way. If you keep those sealed and then you buy packs now, you can sell those in the future and pay off for these packs today. I recently turned into buying slabs and just vintage singles instead of boring stuff. Only card is honestly want to collect. Be this art. Give it a few... Hi Simon, give it a few weeks. I think in March they're going to have a second wave of Shining Fates and the Charizard will go down in price. I would buy the Charizard for $300. I think it's going to hit $300. At least for me, I buy cards for cheaper. So if it hits $300, I'll buy one. It's 4 prongs, even worse. Yeah, it's dropping. People have been pulling them left and right. And because of that, I am going to play the long game and wait. You're welcome, Alex. Feel free to ask more questions. I had to close the stream real quick because I was helping a customer. No problem, Jeff. Yeah, feel free to ask me anything. I know I talked a lot. I was on here for a couple hours, so I'm getting burnt out. Which future set do you think will have a good enough chase card to buy and sell? What do you mean future set? Like right now, modern sets? Hidden Fates. Hidden Fates, you can try your luck with Champion's Path. It's kind of bad, but like you get lucky. I feel like I got lucky with Champion's Path. I express graded the Charizard V's because it was worth so much. It was a $400 card at the time, so I figured if I spent the $100 is worth it. But anything cheaper, I would do the regular. I grade so often, I'm okay with waiting. That's the issue. I'm so desensitized. We have Toys R Us Mcdonald Magikarp, Toys R Us Magikarp, McDonald's Collection Magikarp, Gem Mint 10, super rare. 8.5 Magikarp CGC. We have a Gold Star Gyarados. Shining Magikarp. Shining Magikarp. I love my Shining Magikarps. You got a Call of Legend Ho-Oh, right? Yes, I do. It's in my box. Is it okay to leave cards in the binder? Let me... I lost my Facebook page on my computer. Hi, James. Thank you. Reach out to me when you're free to do the 1-hour chat. I am booked until next week. I think I'm free Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, one of those 3. But I think they're gonna fill up. But this whole week I'm booked. We can schedule you twice. What's next month? Yeah. I could probably do Sunday this month. Uh-oh. Let me find my video real quick. Is it okay to leave cards in the binder? They've been there for 20 years. No damage yet, but I have no other container. So, yes, it's okay to put cards in binders. But I highly recommend the Ultra Pro binders. My Elite Trainer box. This is the Ultra Pro binder that I highly recommend people get. This is the Pikachu version. It is fake leather, very soft to the touch. I think it holds 360 cards and no rings. Right? You can like accidentally bend it. It won't hurt your card. There are times when I threw this binder and no cards get damaged. And then you have this strap. This is good for putting it into a bookcase. It fits. So I highly recommend this. And I don't stab myself. Sometimes I drop it on myself and I'm like, it doesn't hurt. But with those ring binders, you can cut yourself. These are only $30. That's pretty expensive for this binder, but it's discontinued, I think. So that's a good price. And PSA 10. McDonald's collab. Promo cards like the McDonald's collab, definitely grade those. I think they are good for selling in the future. That's why people are hoarding them. It's unique artwork. No, some of them aren't unique. I think they reprint the artwork. Well, unique holo, right? It's exclusive to McDonald's. There's a lot of holo bleed. And it's 25th anniversary, unique release. It was limited, right? This is important too. People need to take into consideration that the McDonald's toys, it is limited. Don't mind the people that purchase a whole case. That's just like a few people compared to the amount of people that paid only 5 kids meal at a time. So it is limited. If it's a super old, thick 3-ring binder, I would go by penny sleeves. Sunday works for me. Okay, well, I'll schedule you for Sunday. I'll send you a link on Patreon, and then we can set a time. Or you can send me an hour that you're free, and then I'll book the calendar. I think the best modern set people can invest in Hidden Fates. I agree, Jay. It's Hidden Fates for me because of the Charizard, Umbreon, Espeon, Leafeon, Glaceon, Mewtwo, Greninja, Sylveon. Should I grade all the first editions? John, if you have the money, go for it. I know it's very expensive grading those cards. It should cost you around $50 for the holos, for damaged ones. But like, if it's mint, I would grade the first editions. If you're keeping them for your collection, I would save the grading money and just buy. This is what I did. Instead of grading all my shadowless cards, these are not shadowless. Okay, this is still not shadowless. Instead of grading my shadowless cards, I purchased a lot more cards with the money that I spent, that I would have spent on grading. The price of cards will go up faster than the price of the grading fee, so I can always grade them in the future, even though it probably increased by like $40 for grading. I feel like the cards increase a lot more. So that's my logic. So I'm going to hoard as many cards as I can and then grade them in the future. What's on your Patreon? I offer one-on-one help. After this live stream, I don't respond to DMs unless it's about the group. I strictly help the group out. And if people want Patreon, like questions about cards, they can just ask there. And I do group chats. You get to meet other people and we all collect together. Any recommendations for storing cards where you don't have a master set? If I have a Vivid Voltage and Rebel Clash but not a master set, should I just store them on one binder or still have their own binders? I would store them on one binders. I think you can fit through 2 sets in one binder. I wish I could find my... There's this really neat binder I wanted to show you guys, but I lost it somewhere. Maybe it's on my bed. Oh, I found it. I see it peeking from my pile of paper that I put on the floor. So this is a cool binder I want to share with you guys. It's one of my other favorites. I call this my Hidden Fates binder. Those plastic sleeves that you just picked up, do you recommend we remove them from there and place them on top loaders? Which one? Plastic cases you just picked up. Oh, those are semi-ridges. So these are called semi-ridges. I sell them for cheap. They are more expensive than top loaders. I prefer semi-ridges because in top loaders, you can shake the card inside. So if you buy the wrong top loader, this is a lot more sharper. So, see? It shakes. You can move the card around in the top loader. Right? It comes loose, but if you put it in a semi-rigid, it doesn't shake. And the top is very like airtight, so dust won't go in the card that much. But with top loaders, dust can go in the card. But top loaders are cheaper. And with semi-rigids, you can open it like this. You take out the card without scratching it. Right? But with top loaders, you risk scratching the card because the plastic is a lot harder. See? You can open it like this, and then you put your fingers in, and you slide it, and it just fits. Super easy. It's $8 a pack. I don't know how much it is online. I wouldn't hoard only 7 cards. I would try to extend your portfolio of cards. Should I keep them in order and keep slots empty or missing cards? Are you finishing a master set? If you're doing master sets, I would keep slots empty for the missing cards. Use the back of these sleeves. Use these sleeves as placeholders. Or you can buy my stickers. If you buy my self-plug Magikarp stickers, you can put them in binders as a placeholder. Let me give you an example. This is my Hidden Fates binder that I'm working on. Look, a placeholder is needed here. There we go. So I am trying to finish Hidden Fates. My Charizard is not in here. It's in my shiny binder. This is Korean. So I am completing Korean as well. And this is Japanese. I think Japanese is done. The Charizard, I put it in my shiny binder. This is, I think, Chinese. Chinese is next. So I'm trying to complete this set in Chinese. I think I'm almost done as well. As always, this Charizard is missing. So I've been working on this binder. You have, hi Touj, I recognize you. I have a Cgc 9 with a little whitening on the corner. Do you think I should do a crossover to PSA? Hey Sam. Would you want a PSA 9? I say do it. Make sure it's centered. It doesn't have whitening on the edges, and make sure it doesn't have any print lines. It doesn't have any scratches on the hollows. If that's like all in the clear, I would cross it over. Yeah, if you like PSA more, I would try it. But don't break it out of the case. If you break it out of the case, you might risk getting an 8. Yes, I know the binder cards are however one. That Pikachu binder looks so nice. This is the best binder that you can get. The Pikachu one, not this one. There's the Pokeball version and the Ultra Ball. And I think they skipped the Great Ball for some reason. Do you need a tab on the penny sleeve when submitting or grading? No, you don't. The graders, they cut the semi-ridges anyway. So what they do is they have a machine that just, I guess, cut it. And they pull out your card via pull thingy. But you don't need the tab. But it's up to you. If you're sending in only a few cards, you can do that. But if you're sending in 100 cards, I get it's a lot of work to do that. It's up to you. Personally, I don't think it helps anymore because they cut it. Okay, Korean set. I'm glad you guys like that binder. You like the Mewtwo Ultra Pro binder. That's coming out. I think they have a leather one that's coming out. I'll get that if they release it. Is there another language other than Japanese that goes for just as much? I say Italian is, I think Italian may be more expensive than Japanese. Chinese is up there. Chinese is pretty expensive. So I say Chinese and Italian. Is it worth more to have a master set? You guys are nonstop with these questions. Is it worth more to have a master set graded at the same company? Yes, I believe so. People like unified stuff because a master set with the same labels, the newer PSA labels, it's a lot more expensive than a master set with different PSA labels, you know what I mean? So I'm going to assume if you put a Beckett card in with a PSA lot, people will be like, what the F? Now I have to spend more money to get these regraded. You have to give me $100 off for this one Beckett slab. That's what people are going to say. And you don't want that to happen. Why are those Ultra Pro binders so good? Because it has this, right? It keeps it closed. It looks beautiful. It's very soft to the touch. You don't cut yourself. With those ring binders, sometimes you hit yourself in the corner and it cuts you. But this is very kid-friendly. It doesn't have a ring, so your cards don't get bent. It feels really nice. It looks really nice. The black looks amazing with hidden face. There's not much you should not like. And I also use this, so it comes with a black backing. You can use this to sell your cards. People don't like white backgrounds because it hides whitening, but you can put your cards here and take a picture of it. This works. And that's why I like these Ultra Pro binders. They're not that expensive. I think it's an investment. It's around $30 for a binder. That's pretty pricey. But you can find them for maybe $25 if they're on sale. What do you get with your Patreon? Let's see. Let me read you the tiers. Right now I have almost 40. I think I have 40. I started it last year, and once I mentioned that I have Patreon, a lot of people subscribed. For, I guess, $1, you have access to PSA grading services. I just left it at $1. It's very cheap. And you get discounted shipping on supplies when the subs come back. So when your subs come back, I can throw in free top loaders. So you make that $1 back anyway. But I don't answer questions about card stuff. Only if you have PSA questions, I answer. If you are a basic carp, basic carps are $5 per month. You unlock all my blog posts, all my private video posts. You get moved into my primary inbox on Instagram, and you get previous rewards. For Orange Carp, it's $10 a month. I answer more questions daily, maybe like once a day. But there's some people who sign up for it, and they message me from morning to nighttime. And I'm like, you guys don't have friends? Why are you messaging me every day for a week? So I limit it to one question a day. You can give me a list of what you're looking for so I can keep an eye out for it, but it's not guaranteed. I visit card stores and you can see what they have. Priority on Instagram. You have access to monthly Zoom meetings. So I will host a meeting every month and people can join and talk about cards. I host it for 5 hours, so you can pick anytime you want to join. And I'll repeat what I say for 5 hours. The $50 tier is sold out right now, but like I can open one more slot if people are interested. It has all the previous benefits. I'm in your pocket at all times, which is what people like. They can message me morning to nighttime about any questions they have about Pokemon. We schedule a one-on-one 1-hour chat where I can help you with your collecting goals. We can schedule more calls, or like a $100 a month. That's just like extreme. I help you hunt down 5 cards. I can send off private submissions. This is for people who want to send off thousands of dollars worth of cards per month. So some people they pick that option and they leave after sending in thousands and thousands of dollars worth of cards. So that's not permanent. Because of Patreon, I'm able to spend more time with the community people. This stream was made possible by Patreons, so we have them to thank. Is it okay to send in cards and ETB sleeves? You can, but I don't recommend it, because anything that would help the grader is beneficial. You know, you're spending all this money, might as well go through the right process. There was one guy who sent in all his cards and penny sleeves in like a deck box to PSA. And so PSA charged him. They charged him 50 cents a card, and he's complaining. I'm like, it's better if we do our due diligence on our end to sleeve everything properly, put them in semi-rigids for PSA to process them a lot easier and like quicker. You know, PSA's employees, they can't spare 1 hour sleeving up our cards. I'd rather them grade our cards instead of sleeving them. You know, that's just a waste of our time. People should do everything properly before sending it off to PSA. ETBs, maybe they can just take it out, but it could scratch your card, so I highly recommend not doing it. I highly recommend penny sleeves. They're not going to charge you if you use ETBs. They're going to charge you if you don't use semi-rigids. Regarding the card grading, is it okay to send answer that? If I got top Patreon donor, I guarantee. Do I get guaranteed PSA 10s? I wouldn't say guarantee, but you'll make money. Depends on how you use that tier. I've helped people make thousands of dollars before. What's the best way to tell? But it's up to you how you use it. I recently helped someone make hundreds, and they were in a $5 tier, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter $5 or $10 to me. I just like spreading the information. What's the best way to tell if you are getting a good deal and looking at cards at a good eBay sold listings and experience? Or you can message me, and I'll let you know. You need more of these lives. We have a yes. I'm able to do more of these lives because of Patreon. The more money we raise from Patreon, the more time I have to like volunteer in the community. And you're welcome, Steve. Thank you for joining. This is all free. You guys don't have to pay for this. You have to know how to judge condition. All right. You're welcome, Ivan. Any more questions before I go? I think I have to eat for tonight. I have videos to make. I plan on making YouTube videos tonight. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Instagram messages. Oh, wait, it keeps going. 15. 15 messages to go through. Do you think I could crack them out of the plastic and send them to you? Can. Sorry, a customer messaged me. All right. What's your YouTube channel? Let me see. Let me link it to you guys so you guys can. A lot of my videos are private though. They're unlisted. So only Patreons have access to them. I don't make public videos that much. Maybe I show off my collection there, but that's about it. It's Bo Dangers. On my video real quick. Here we go. Rebel Clash booster packs, are they worth keeping? Rebel Clash, I feel like it's an undervalued set. There's great cards in it. But I don't think it's going to go up that much right now. I'd say if you don't need the money, hold on to it. Okay. Should I grade sealed promo cards? If the cards have a little bit of issues, maybe. But there's not really much of a market for graded sealed promo cards. Why not just put them in a semi-rigids, you know? You can... Look at these. Live sleeving session. Look at all these Magikarp promos. So this is what I'm gonna do, guys. You guys can watch me. You guys can endure this torture. I take the semi-rigids that I am selling. Right? These are the ones, exact same ones I'm selling. And I'm just gonna sleeve each and every one of them. So don't waste the money. If you want to protect your cards, you can do this. There we go. Need more boring videos of grading details to subscribe. Huh? What do you mean by that? I don't understand. I'm thinking about opening my Sealed First movie promo. Go for it. If you what promo packs? What do you mean, like grading packs? Like booster packs? And by the way, like, I know my value, my personal value, and the value I bring to the Pokemon community. If people don't want to, like, listen to my advice, I know how much of a loss that is, because I have helped a lot of people. Just putting it out there. It doesn't matter to me whether or not people subscribe or, like, take my advice seriously, because I know there's a lot of people that want my advice. McDonald's or cereal? John, grading packs is very expensive. I'm gonna say it's around $20 last time I checked. Maybe it's more now. But I don't know if you want to spend $20 per McDonald's pack to get graded. You know, I'd rather invest the money with $20, buy a card that will go up in price. You make more money that way. If you want it for your collection, I'd say go for it. Has Logan Paul contacted me for Pokemon yet? No, he has not. He has only followed my account. He followed me on Twitter, but he has not reached out to me yet. Look at me just sleeving all these Magikarp promos. I'm just sleeving these for long term. Look at these. Your Instagram is Bo Dangers. I don't check my DMs often. My DMs are full. Only Patreons get primary. I think since I went live, I got 20 messages. I know Gary from Pawn Stars. You guys know Gary from Pawn Stars? We hung out. We hung out before, and he joins my live streams from time to time, so you might see him. He joins in and says, like, hey girl, keep up the good work. Any more last minute questions? I'm gonna get off, guys. And then go eat dinner. Okay. Let's see. No more questions? Let's check my messages. Alright. So, you're welcome, John, and you're welcome, Jeffrey. I will be back maybe next week, or maybe like before we hit 10K, maybe 9.5K, and I'll come back. I'm not gonna do this every week. Yes, Gary got my first editions art from him. Yeah, Gary. Good night, guys. I'll let you guys leave, and then I'll leave. Can be searched. Yes, McDonald's packs can be searched while still sealed. So if you send them in to get graded, some people like say, oh, you searched those. These are all non-Pikachus. Looking chains, good information. Alright. Alright, bye guys.